Welcome to the Killer Author Club. 3 best-selling authors talking about killing, of the fictional kind, with the best thriller and suspense authors in the business. Killer conversations, killer cocktails, and killer guests, with your hosts, Kimberly Bell, Heather Gutenkopf, and Kara Ruda. This is the Killer Author Club.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Killer Author Club, your favorite haunt for all things murder, mystery, and mayhem. Tonight, we're so excited to welcome killer author extraordinaire James L Etoile to the Killer Author Club hot seat. We have all of the questions about River of Lies, the most recent installment of his Emily Hunter series. So grab your list of questions, your poison of choice, a cocktail or a mocktail, and get ready to kill the lights. I'm Killer Kara Ruda.
And I'm Killer James.
And I'm Killer Heather Gutenkopf. Killer Kimberly is off on some adventures, but she'll be back with us next time.
That's right. And before we dive into James's book, a couple quick PSAs. Tonight's show will be available on your favorite podcasting app starting this Friday with exclusive added content only for podcast listeners. Links to everything are at killerauthorclub.com. Also, don't forget, we have the special Killer Author Club book bundle from Swamp Box. And there's swag, special swag, and you can get everything. Like Kimberly's and my books will come first, and then Heather's will come right on pub day. So don't forget to sign up for that because supplies are limited. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for our newsletter on killerauthorclub.com so you never miss our killer breaking news.
Yes, and speaking of breaking news, would you love to see the cover for Kara's upcoming new release? Of course you would. Here we go. Here it comes. All right. Isn't it gorgeous? So we love the Palm Springs vibe of We Were Never Friends. Kara, tell us a little bit about what that book is going to be about.
Yeah, it's fun. Thanks, Heather. I love the cover too. I think it's really fun. It'll be great because it's coming out in February and it has like a vacation vibe. So if you're cold, pick it up. But it's about a group of sorority sisters who are forced to have a reunion because one of their daughters is marrying one of their sons. And it's an engagement party and a reunion that nobody wanted and everyone's dreading for good reason. Anyway, that's kind of it. I'm not good at this yet because it's my first time talking about it, but I'm excited about the book. It's really fun. And now, Heather, could you please introduce our special guest?
I would love to. James L Etoile uses his 29 years behind bars as an influence in his award-winning novels, short stories, and screenplays. He's a former associate warden in a maximum security prison, a hostage negotiator, and director of California's state parole system. His novels have been shortlisted or awarded the Lefty, Anthony, Silver Falchion, and the Public Safety Writers Award. River of Lies is his most recent novel. Look for Sins of the Father and Illusion of Truth coming soon. And you can find more at www.jamesletwell.com. So we have so many questions about River of Lies, but can you start with giving us an elevator pitch about the book?
Sure. Yeah. River of Lies. It's the second book in the Detective Emily Hunter series. It started with Face of Greed. But in River of Lies, we learned a lot about Emily, the first book out. She's a very driven detective with the Sacramento Police Department. She's a little brash, a little sarcastic, pushes back a lot against the brass. And part of that is being a woman in a male-dominated field. She almost has to do that to get the same recognition that her male counterparts get. I saw that when I was working in the prison system, and Emily kind of emulates a lot of those characters that I worked with before. So in River of Lies, Emily is following a series of arson fires that are sweeping the city, and it's something we have every year here in Sacramento. She first finds a very unusual victim, an unlikely suspect, and she finds quickly that even the homeless have something that somebody wants.
So good. We loved it. So readers, get chatty and start dropping your questions in the comments for us to ask of Killer James. But first, what are we drinking, Kara?
Yes, Jim has chosen Emily Hunter's Maple Old Fashioned as his special drink. Can you you tell us how is it that this drink has a special tie to the protagonist of your Emily Hunter series? And cheers, I see that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's I really picture Emily as kind of an old-fashioned gal. It's a little sweet, but it carries a little bit of a kick, and that's kind of what she is. She's I mean, she has a really big heart, but if you cross her, God help you. But yeah, she's a strong one, and I kind of see this as her drink.
I love it. Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here, Jim.
Yes,
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much.
Well, we created the Killer Author Club so readers like you could get up close and personal with your favorite thriller writers. So this season's lineup is stacked with killers like Karen Slaughter, Sarah Buchanan, Chevy Stevens, and more. So for dates, times, past episodes, surf to killerauthorclub.com. But tonight, it's all about River of Lies. Whoops, there's the front. River of Lies is a masterful blend of political intrigue and personal drama, weaving elements of true life crime in a twisty, page-turning, and compelling plot, with a climax and denouement that will shock you to the core. Enthusiastically recommended. Baron Bircher award-winning author. And Karen Dion says, when the second book in a series is even better than the first, you know you're going to be following these characters for a long time. So James, you are clearly a well-versed in the art of killing, and now we need to know the answer to the killer question. When do you kill?
When do I kill? I think, and we'll stick to this on the page. We'll kind of leave the professional life aside for the moment. Early and often. I think most of my books start out with a crime, and it's usually murder. You don't necessarily see it on the page, but you lead right into that, and it just kind of takes you, off in that direction. So I think early and often. River of Lies and the Emily Hunter series isn't particularly dark. It sounds like it might be. The other series, the one that's set within the desert Southwest, I think has a higher body count than this one. So this is not excessively dark if anybody's worried about diving into River of Lies.
Well, we are so excited to talk about it.
It does, but it does start out with a bang. I have to say, you're immersed in the story right away because okay. First of all, it's a complex issue of homelessness. Now we see this on the news every day, and you knew that was going to be in the news cycle right when this book came out. Clearly, so talk about why you decided to approach writing such a politically charged and sensitive topic.
Yeah, it's I seem to find a way to step in it every time I write a book, but. Homelessness, and Sacramento has a huge homeless issue. We have got camps all over the city, and dollars seem to be thrown at it, but nothing ever happens. But one of the things that kind of was the impetus for the book was years ago when I was still working in the corrections field. I went to Los Angeles to visit my offices down there in Region 3 in Los Angeles, and that's where Skid Row is, one of the largest homeless encampments in the nation. And my agents were telling me, they supervise parolees that live in this environment and the challenges that pose, because it's really its own community with its own rules and how they interact with each other. There's really a structure there that, we don't see, but they understand. But it creates some challenges for parole agents going into that environment. Where do you live? What's your address? Well, it's the third cardboard box under the bridge by the fire hydrant. It's a little bit difficult, but that kind of stuck with me. And then I think the people that get trapped in that system, have a lot to offer, and that's kind of why I wanted to start that River of Lies in that place.
Yeah, and you really exemplify that through Emily, because she finds herself being really a voice for the homeless in the book and the voice for the voiceless in the story. So how important was it to you to humanize this group of people in the homeless community, rather than treating them as statistics or background elements, because lots of times people don't want to face those who are unhoused and want it in the background and don't want to
Yeah.
see it. So tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
it makes people uncomfortable. These are kind of the invisible people. You don't really want to see them, recognize them. And then you start to think about, what they've gone through to get to that point. One or two bad decisions and you're on the street. It's not that hard to do. So they all have this story, behind them. And once you start peeling back the layers, you discover that, yeah, some of these people are, very complex people. They've got families, they've got lives, and they just took this turn and ended up in this place. And yeah, I thought it was kind of important to have them appear human and not just, a set piece or something that, you could ignore. And there's no way you could ignore these fires that are sweeping through the camp.
Right. And fire itself is just such a scary element too, and they're so vulnerable when you're living in a cardboard box. It's
Right.
So the plot reveals that the former, I don't think I'm giving anything away, anti-homeless mayor becomes a victim himself. So without spoiling anything, can you tell us about the research and thought process that went into that kind of a plot twist?
Sure. A part of it, that was the mayor is found dead burnt to a crisp in the fire. That's not a big reveal. That was the same mayor that was in Face of Greed. And he was a very shady character anyways. And I got more mail from readers on Face of Greed saying, why didn't something bad happen to the mayor? I said, just wait. It'll
I'm
happen.
Gonna get him. I'm getting him.
Yeah, just be patient. But yeah, he was kind of a shady character. And part of my career, I was, as the director of parole, I was always going over to the Capitol or the mayor's office in San Francisco or Oakland, talking to Jerry Brown over there, or the city in Sacramento. And you start to see how politics works from the inside. And it's kind of scary, that the things that happen and, the public just doesn't see. But in terms of Sacramento, there's a long history of graft and corruption in the city. And I thought, as a fiction author, hey, what could be better than that? So I kind of, went with that and leaned into it a little bit.
Right. And Emily, who, is a professional and goes out and does her job every day, this really hard, difficult job, but she's also has a personal life and she's dealing with her mom's Alzheimer's. And while she's trying to investigate these horrible attacks, arson attacks. So where did that come from? Where did the idea of, really delving into Emily's personal life and the struggles that go right along with that professional case? How do they intersect?
Yeah, they really do with Emily. I mean, when we first met Emily in Face of Greed, I mean, she was, totally on the job and then dealing with her mom as a caregiver for her mom's dementia and Alzheimer's. And it was all consuming. So if she wasn't at work, she was caring for her mom. She had no personal life, no time for anything. In River of Lies, we opened that up a little bit. Mom still has, the memory care issues that she has, but we found a placement for her. And, we opened it up and have her have a little bit of a romantic interest with a fellow cop, Brian Connor. But even when she does that, she feels guilty that she's taking time away from her mom. So that. But a lot of that comes from my experience with my mom when she had dementia, and we had to, take care of that, and ended up in memory care and all that kind of thing. And it's a very hard subject to kind of talk about. But there's so many of us that have parents in that age group that are going through that, and it's just this insidious disease, and it just shrinks these people that you once knew into a shell of what they were, and that's a hard adjustment. So there are some of the discussions that Emily has with her mom that I actually had with mine, so I kind of put that into the book.
Yeah. And, as someone whose dementia has, struck my life as well, very similar situation. and how, you just try to get through the day, and you're pulled in 50 different directions, and
Yes.
as and that role reversal changes. So I think you really portrayed that with a lot of dignity, but also a lot of heart and emotion
Thank you.
as well.
Yeah, you got that right. It is a role reversal, because now you're the parent in this relationship, and it's totally different.
Right.
Yeah, you took on some, light issues in this book.
Yeah. Yeah, River of Lies is a cozy.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
yeah, this is uplifting. Okay, but all right. So you mentioned, I'm going to pivot a little bit. You mentioned this book works for fans of Michael Connelly and Karen Slaughter. So what elements of their writing styles or approaches to crime fiction influence your work on this series, or all of your?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been very lucky to have that comparison made by Library Journal and Book List, but I hope to match that someday. I think Karen Slaughter's attention to character really gets me. I mean, she just has a way of just exposing the inner core of who these characters are, and you just get sucked in. So if I can get a little bit of that, I'd be very happy. And then for Michael Connelly, in terms of the kind of the police procedural angle of it, he said something once that it's really struck with me, and that's that a good crime novel really isn't about the crime. It's kind of like a ripple effect of how that crime affects everybody involved in it, whether it's the cops, the families, or the community. And it's kind of that ripple effect that happens that I try to capture in my stories.
Yeah, you do a great job. It's kind of like a river of lies, maybe.
Imagine.
Imagine.
And I was just really struck how authentic the story felt. Like I felt like I was right there in the homeless camp, and with the fire raging around, and the investigation was so interesting to me. What kind of research did you have to do, or did you call on any experts, or how do you approach research for your books?
Yeah, if there's an area that I haven't experienced before, I do have people that I can call on to kind of fill in those gaps. Like with fire department issues, Sacramento Fire Department has a public information officer that's great. I mean, I've sent him passages that did I get the equipment right or the name of the apparatus correctly, and they'll chime in and let you know. I've been able to work with a lot of cops over the course of my career, and some of the investigations that we had done, both in prison and out in the community, kind of helped give me a foundation of where some of these investigations could go. And so that kind of helped move me along.
In the stories that you write, especially, it's so important to get all those elements right, because one reader is going to be like, oh no, that is not our equipment, and that is not, that's not how fire was spread or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen some great fighters last night in my home. I'm like, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. But anyway, so, okay. The other thing I love about Jim is that he seems to be at every conference. He's like volunteering for everything. He roped me into being what was I, a judge for the Edgar Award, I think?
You were. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that he was roping me in, and he roped
you
me
were
in.
You were not a judge. You were the chair of that.
I was the chair, yes.
You were like the queen of that category.
So, I was the queen of that category. You're right. Thank you for that. But how did you rope me? I don't know. But anyway, seriously, I think it's really, it's such a great thing. And I think people should know how involved you are and how much time you give to all these organizations that really benefit so many authors. So thank you for your service to the crime writing community.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So what would you say to if a person who's an author is watching right now or wants to be an author? Why is it important to be involved in these kinds of organizations?
Oh yeah, whether it's Mystery Writers of America, International Thriller Writers, Sisters in Crime, you'll find your people, because going into this, when I first started, I mean, it's very isolating, very lonely. You're writing in your little cave, and you go out, but you don't realize that everybody else is experiencing that same thing. So one of the first conferences I went to was at Book Passage at the Mystery Writers Conference before I was published, and Michael Connelly, Don Winslow, and Robert Craze were there.
Wow.
3 guys that know what the business is, and they were talking about struggling with a manuscript and throwing it away after 300 pages and all that kind of stuff. And they're explaining imposter syndrome. I didn't even know there was a name for it, but I was feeling it. And it's like, okay, if Michael Connelly's doing this, I maybe I'm doing something right. And it just kind of helps you stick with it. But, getting yourself involved in any of these organizations, it really helps you feel like you're part of something bigger. And some of the best people I've met, through these communities. I mean, I didn't expect it to be as supportive and open and just a nurturing relationship among authors. I thought it was going to be competitive and dog eat dog, because that was my prior life. Basically, stab you in the back, literally, because I had to wear a stab-proof vest to work. But this has been totally unexpected, and it's been one of the best things ever.
Really, the thriller, crime writing community, mystery community is the best. I mean, everybody is so supportive. Everybody cheers each other on. It's just so much fun to see. Yeah, it's pretty special for sure. So this is the second book in the Emily Hunter series. So after Face of Greed, we have River of Lies. So how has she evolved, and what's up next for Emily?
You're starting to see her evolve a little bit. We talked about her having a cop boyfriend, and that relationship we start to see blossom a little bit in River of Lies. In January, the third book comes out. It's called Illusion of Truth, and it starts off with a church bombing in Sacramento. And Brian Connor is one of the first responders who gets caught in that blast. Oh, wow. So the issue is, if he survives, is he going to be the same man that Emily knew? So being a crime writer, you give Emily a little love interest, or you got to take it away or do something with it, So you can't just let everybody be happy and unicorns run by. We're not about that.
No, we're not. But poor Emily. Poor Emily.
She's getting pulled through the ringer. But I like where Illusion of Truth ends up.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yay. Okay, you guys. So it is time for the giveaway. And Jim is giving away 3 copies of River of Lies to lucky US viewers. It doesn't matter where you're watching. We scour the comments everywhere. But you have to answer this question and shout out where you're from. It's another multiple choice for you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So are you ready, everyone? Okay. Question. When James says he spent 29 years behind bars, he means A, he had a long career as a bartender, which is why he was able to create a signature drink for his character. B, he committed real life crimes before he wrote about them, got caught, and served his time. C, he worked in corrections, including as a prison warden. All right, you guys. So good luck.
Yes. That's a tricky one. A, B, or C. Drop it in the comments. Right. So, as everybody knows, the Killers, we're such big fans of independent booksellers, and we want to support the ones our killer authors love. So James has chosen Face in a Book in El Dorado Hills. So, James, can you tell us a little bit about this very special bookstore?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah, Face in a Book. It's in El Dorado Hills. It's a woman-owned bookstore, an AAPI-owned bookstore. And it came into existence in El Dorado Hills. We were a bookstore desert. Borders had just closed. That was our closest, place where folks could go get books. And Tina Ferguson, the owner, was committed to books and mystery. And so she said, I'm gonna put a bookstore together. She's developed something that's so special. She supports our local author community like no one else. But she and Janice Herbert, her manager, really go above board to get our people together. I was able to give Tina the Raven Award at this year's Edgar Awards.
Oh, I saw that. That was amazing. Yeah.
As some, and the Raven Award is for contributions in the mystery genre outside of the writing community, and Tina was able to receive that this year, and we're very happy for her.
That's amazing.
That is truly a partnership, that the independent bookseller author partnership that we just love to see, love to hear about. That's great. So we'll be dropping the link in the comments. So California, readers, you will be able to order from Face in the Book online. They fulfill orders that way. For everybody else, we will drop the bookshop.org link into the comments so you can order James's books through there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm catching up with my captions. Okay. So I'm back now. All right. So you guys, obviously the killers love to read, and we love it when you share what you're reading in our Killer Author Club Facebook group. Post pictures, write reviews, ask for recommendations, and give yours. Tonight, though, we want to know, Jim, what are you currently reading?
Yeah, I've got two that I want to kind of give a shout out to. The first is Samantha Downing.
So good.
Yeah, today's pub day for her. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Samantha. This, too old for this. I mean, it's so unique. You take a retired serial killer coming out of retirement, and I've saw Heather post about it. But yeah, it's a fantastic book.
So good.
I love everything that Samantha does, but I think this is one of her best.
Me too. I totally agree. Well, I got to see her with you at that conference at Book
Yeah.
Passages, and she had one arc left. I'm like, please, can I read that? It was so good. I loved
Yeah.
it. Everything
Yeah.
So good.
And the other one I want to talk about or just mention real quickly, I think you might have seen this one, but it's, Jill is Not Happy
Ooh.
by Kara Ruda. Who, I mean, in terms of domestic suspense, I love Kara's work. I mean, she's able to suck you in with these characters that are just, really well developed. And yeah, in this one, Jill is not happy.
Not happy.
Not happy at all.
She's
But
not.
it makes me worry a little bit. I like your husband very, very much, and I'm worried about him. Genuinely worried about him.
And he appreciates that. And as he tells everyone, he sleeps with one eye open, but he's fine. He's fine. Everything's good.
Everything's
And
fine.
I'll pay you your bribe later for showing my books.
No,
Thank
those
you.
are two great choices. I
Yeah.
heartily second those reads there.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jen. That's very nice of you. Okay, and speaking of awesome books, we're so excited to have a killer alumni to celebrate tonight. That's right, serial killer Lisa Gardner has a new book out in the world. Kiss Her Goodbye hit the shelves today. Vigilante investigator Frankie Elkin is called to Tucson, Arizona to find a missing Afghan refugee whose friends suspect she's in grave danger. Kiss Her Goodbye is a high-octane thriller, but it's also an evocative look into the refugee life and brings a timely awareness to their stories and struggles. Lisa is giving away 2 copies to lucky winners in the U.S. or Canada. Hey, Canada, you can win this one. Make sure you let us know where you're from, and we'll drop that in the caption. I will soon.
So good.
Oh, shoot, did I? Oh, no, that's you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. So we have 2 more fabulous releases that we want to celebrate tonight. First up, we have Gone to Ground, a debut novel from Morgan Hatch. 2 brothers from the streets of LA, one headed to college, the other headed for trouble, get caught in the crosshairs of a hedge fund fixer. And then we also have, and I've seen this one everywhere, Everyone is Lying to You by Joe Piazza, an explosive thriller about 2 estranged friends, a grisly murder, a sudden disappearance, and the truly shocking revelation that everyone is lying to you about something. So we've got 1 copy of Gone to Ground and 2 copies of Everyone is Lying to You to give away to U.S. viewers. Comment if you want it and tell us where you're from. Good luck. And don't forget to check out the Killer's latest books. And, we just love Jill so much. We're going to talk about her again.
Jill's back. She loves it when that happens.
Yes. So Jill is not happy, but Killer Kara is, because her latest thriller is an instant USA Today bestseller. It's the story about an ill-fated road trip that resurrects a married couple's darkest secrets. And her next novel, We're Never Friends, is up for pre-order now.
And you know who else isn't happy? The main characters in Heather's upcoming thriller, The Perfect Host, when their over-the-top gender reveal party goes off the rails. Pre-ordered this one out in November. Don't you guys love that cover? I love that cover.
Yeah.
That wonky cake.
I
I
know.
love it.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
know something's up with that cake. And then finally, last but not least, have you read Killer Kimberly's latest, The Expat Affair, about 2 American expats in the deadly world of Amsterdam's diamond industry? Links for all these are coming up in the comments.
Yep, coming right up. Okay, and it's swag giveaway time. Membership has its privileges, so if you're on Facebook, check out our private members-only group called the Killer Author Club, where every episode the killers choose a name from the hat to win a piece of swag, t-shirts, mugs, totes, hats, all of which can be found if you'd like your own at killerauthorclub.com. Tonight's winner is Kate Lentz. So Kate, congratulations. Please send one of us killers your address and we'll send some swag your way. And if you want to be the next winner, you know what to do. Sign up and you could be the winner too. Also, a big thanks to Book Reporter for sharing the murdery love and sharing all of our Killer Author Club episodes. Stay up to date on bookish news and events at bookreporter.com.
And Jim, we have some really, really good news for you. We are thrilled to say that you have survived the Killer Author Club. Congratulations.
I made it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This was so much fun. So thank you so much for being here. And can you tell listeners where the best place to find you might be?
Sure. Yeah. And thanks so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun. I love you guys. I'm on Facebook. You can find me at author James Etoile. Same thing on Instagram, author James Etoile. And I'm periodically on Blue Sky. I'm still hanging out on Twitter if you want to find me there at James Etoile.
Great.
So he's everywhere all at once.
All the places.
I like it.
Go find James there.
Yeah. Thanks again, Jim. It was
Thank you.
honor to have you here. And that does it for tonight's episode. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We have a special edition for you next week when mega superstar Karen Slaughter joins us in the club to chat about her fabulous new release, We Are All Guilty Here. In the meantime, please find us as well, wasting too much time on all the social media platforms. And for Time's upcoming schedule, past episodes, recipes, and merch, surf to killerauthorclub.com. Thanks for being part of the club.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
That does it for tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to catch our next show live, we're every other Tuesday night on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Time's upcoming schedule and to catch up on past episodes, visit us at killerauthorclub.com. Happy reading. Now get on out there and kill that TBR.